Hello my amazing subscribers and all you that are watching this video. Welcome to my channel. Today I will talk you about sugar. That bastard that most of us love, but it's not really that healthy for us. We all know that drinking sugar or having sugar in our drinks is not particularly healthy. You don't need to be a scientist to know that. But are we really aware of how bad it is actually to add sugar to our drinks? I think no, so that's why I'm making this video for you. Let's start from the fact that having sugar as a liquid form and as a solid form is not the same for our body, at least for our brain. Research shows that when we eat something with sugar and when we drink something that has sugar, our brain is not activated the same form. As an example, if you drink a can of soda or if you eat an apple, both of these foods, they have calories and they are rich in sugar. However, in our brain, when we get sugar from solid form, we get it rewarded. So we get the information that we are eating something and that maybe we no longer need to eat that much. On the other side, when we drink a can of soda, our reward system in our brain does not get light up so easily, and that leads us to eat more. Over time, that generates a couple of problems. One of them is that we are getting extra calories in our diet and most likely we are starting to get more addicted to sugar. Now let's imagine a scenario where you only have a can of soda. What do you think it happens to your blood sugar after it? Again, we don't need to be a scientist to figure out the answer. And you are right, your blood sugar will have a huge spike and after it, it will have a huge drop very fast again. Having spikes in your blood sugar is not a problem, at least for healthy people, and especially at certain times of the day. So for example, for me, after workout, I'm pretty healthy. Having a huge spike in my bloodstream is actually beneficial. Now the difference is that even though I will have a huge spike, I won't have a huge crash after it, because my meal will have fiber and other nutrients that will make the digestion way slower. The problem with the huge spikes is that usually the people who have those huge spikes and huge crashes are people who usually don't exercise and are not that healthy. As you can imagine, those are also the people who drink the most sodas and sugar drinks. Now I am going to introduce you to another problem. When you have those huge spikes, your pancreas has to release insulin to help us to maintain the blood sugar levels controlled. Insulin is a great friend. What they do for us, they go to our bloodstream and they say to our cells, hey, pick up the sugar in your bloodstream because that's toxic and if you have too much of it, we can get in problem. So pretty much what insulin is doing is it's released in our bloodstream and tells to the cells to pick up the sugar. What happens next is that our body has to figure out what to do with that extra sugar. Now in the case that you would be coming out of a workout, a very intense workout, let's say, if you would have sugar, that wouldn't be a huge problem because your body would probably use it to store it in the muscles or even in the liver. So your body wouldn't store it as fat, always having to account the amount that you have. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, usually people who have these huge spikes and who drink sugar from liquid form are people who are not active and who are not that healthy in general. So most likely than not, when they have a drink, their body does not need that sugar. Because it also does not have where to store it in a healthy way, and because your liver can only handle a certain amount of fructose, what will happen is that it will have to store it somewhere else. One thing that I found interesting is that the sugar that we get from liquid form is more easily stored as fat in our liver. And that, my friends, is not good news. Having fat around our liver can give us the condition of non-alcoholic fat liver disease. The name is telling everything. It's usually a disease that people who drink too much get, but in this case you can get it by not drinking alcohol. Therefore, the non-alcoholic fat liver disease. Even though I'm smiling, this is really not funny. It just happened to be that I have a lot of fun making this video. Getting back again to the release of insulin in your bloodstream, I also want to mention something that is very important. The less healthier you are and the more frequent you have these huge spikes in your bloodstream, the more likely you are to get a condition called insulin resistance. Do you remember when I told you that the role of insulin is to go to your bloodstream and knock on the door of the houses of the cells and tell, hey, wake up, go to pick up the sugar because this is not good for us? And say, all right, let's go. So in this case, like caffeine and like many other things, our body is an adaptable machine. After some point of just getting used to do always the same thing, these cells start to ignore the insulin. It's like those people who have alarm clock, but they just press snooze all the time. They kind of ignore it. That's a very simple way to tell you what insulin resistant is. I know that some of you might not get this because I'm not probably the best person in the world to explain these kind of things, but just see insulin as drinking coffee or caffeine. Do you remember the first times that you start to drink like one coffee and you seem that you were like, whoa, lighten up? Now maybe you drink 3 coffees or 4 per day and it just things like the most natural thing in the world. You don't even feel that much the effect. Again, that's what happens when you have a lot of huge insulin spikes and you are not healthy. Your pancreas has just to work more and more and more, and at some point it won't be able to handle it. But wait, there is more. I mean, there is a lot more, but I only go over into one more thing on this video. I just want to make you aware that when you consume too much fructose, your body releases triglycerides, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, and other fat molecules in your bloodstream. So triglycerides and other fat molecules. Now, if you paid attention to your biology classes in school, I think you know the answer for what can happen when you have more these kind of fat molecules in your bloodstream. Well done, you paid attention to the classes. You are more likely to increase the risk of having heart diseases. Now, what somehow surprised me was that even for healthy people, having those fatty acids on your bloodstream will make you and make me more likely to get heart problems. And that is what I have for this video. I would love to talk about natural juices, but I will have to leave that for another video. I am here really curious. On average, how many sodas do you drink per week or per month? In my case, I don't drink sodas with added sugar for maybe 7 years or more. I do have light versions from time to time, but even though that's not frequent at all. If you make it to the end of this video, please make me a favor, give it a like, and if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, do it as well. If you have any video that you would like me to make on this channel, leave a comment below and just ask me. And now I'm just gonna tell you the bullet points of this video and recap it very fast. First one, sugar is not the devil that most people make it. Certainly it's not that good, especially if it's refined sugar and it's added in foods, but it's also not the devil that most people make it. Sugar is sugar. The problem with sugar is that usually the people who consume it the most are also the ones who are less active and have more body fat. Therefore, they are also the ones who are more likely to get problems because of its consumption. On top of that, those people are also the ones who consume more sugar from liquid versions compared to solid ones. If you remember, consuming sugar from solid versions and liquid versions is not the same, at least in our brain. Having sugar from liquid form is not rewarded as the same way, which leads us to consume extra calories and leads to weight gain. Regarding the spikes, I said that if you do not practice exercise frequently and you are not healthy, having huge spikes of sugar in your bloodstream followed by a big crash, you are way more likely to become insulin resistant and develop diseases like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, type 2 diabetes, and the list goes on and on. And I know that you are aware that usually one disease leads to the other. I also mentioned that even for healthy people that have on average 2 sugary beverages per week can have their heart markers worsened. This is out of this video, but I think this is very important to share with you. I frequently share it with my clients and I think you will like it. This is a bonus for those who are still watching. Being fit and being healthy is not the same thing. That's why I was mentioning this last point for those who are healthy to pay attention to their heart markers. This example might resonate with you. How many times have you seen soccer players having heart problems? They have a heart stroke in the middle of the game, or a distant runner who have the same problem. Now those people certainly they are fit, but are they healthy? That's the question. So I leave you with that message. Pay attention to your health. You won't regret it. Love you all, guys. I see you on the next video. Take care.